I'm going to preview the Baylor at Kansas State women's soccer game, which literally will be played September 28th at 11:30 a.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. Of course, there'll be live stats as well. Apologize for looking now because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Baylor is kind of off of a massive upset win against number 14 Kansas on the road, 3-0. It was 1-0 at halftime, but in the second half, Baylor scored twice. And I know the game could have been tied at half, but it wasn't. It is what it is. And I even overheard at the very end of the game about the officiating. It's like, that's not the reason why Kansas lost the game or is going to lose. They gave up 3 goals and Kansas didn't score. Plain and simple. Anyway, enough of that soapbox right there. Baylor is 6-1-2 on the year, 1-1 in the Big 12. The win over Kansas definitely helps, not just in terms of conference, but in terms of like RPI down the line. Because I have to think the RPI is higher now, which I know the RPI didn't update after all the games literally yesterday. Now, Kansas State, I will say, they are better than I thought. 5-2-2 overall. But they are 0-1-1 in the Big 12. And their loss was against number 10 TCU 1-0. So not really a bad loss. The tie in the Big 12, by the way, was against Colorado. And when you look at the RPI wise, they're like somewhere in the 50s, and I have to think it got a little bit worse because of the loss, but still. Now, what are some players to keep an eye on? And I'm going to just say this right now. They haven't given up a ton of goals this year. Granted, you got to look at their schedule of competition up to this point. It's nothing compared. It's not as good as compared to Baylor. I'm just telling the truth. And all this, and they have like used different formations in the past, but the most commonly used is like 4 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 4 forwards. They have used that 6 times. The other formations they've used is just like once, like 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards, and 4 midfielders, 4 defenders, 1 midfielder, 5 forwards, and 5 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 3 forwards. So we're going to have to wait and see. And y'all can check out the stats in the description below, and even put the number of starts as well. And all this. So obviously the first player you have to keep an eye on is their starting goalkeeper. Mattis Sibbing, number 0, 5'9" inches tall, a sophomore. Literally 4 goals allowed all year with 29 saves. That's very insanely low. And now I'm going to go like multi-goal scorers or multi-assist players from here. Though don't get me wrong, I'll go like the 1-goal players as well. So Rylan Rantoul, Rintoul, number 6, 5'4" forward. That's a junior, 2 goals and 13 shots attempted. And I do not know the injury status for Kansas State going into this. Multi-assist players like McKinnon Braswell, Number 15, 5'4" forward as a junior, 15 shots attempted, but 4 assists. There's Hannah Palmer, number 18, 5'3" forward as a sophomore, 3 goals on 21 shots attempted and 4 assists. There's Andra Moeller, Mohler, number 30, 5'4" forward as a senior, 2 goals on 18 shots attempted and 1 assist. There's Allison Marshall, number 34, 5'10" forward as a sophomore, 3 goals on 16 shots attempted. There's Mabry Williams, number 10, 5'7" forward as a sophomore, 1 goal and 4 shots attempted and 2 assists. There's Alex Rieger, number 4, 5'9" midfielder as a sophomore, 1 goal and 6 shots attempted. And the last player I'm going to just go ahead and mention is Gabby Demers, Demers, number 13, 5'8" forward / midfielder. That's a sophomore. 1 goal and 10 shots attempted. Across the board, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring in this game. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct for this game. I would not overlook this team. They played tough with number 10 TCU. And I know it's like literally the first game of the weekend they're going to play. But still, I would not overlook them. And sure, it is nice to get a top 15 win in your second ranked win of the year. But don't be satisfied with just that one win. Let's go out there and get another one. Because the last thing you need is bad ties and bad losses. And this would be a bad loss. Not to say they're terrible in terms of record, but RPI wise, yeah, it doesn't help. This would also be helpful. It would also help yourself in terms of conference as well to get a win, to get another 3 points. Especially when there are some teams that even haven't won a single conference game yet. For example, BYU, they're 0-2. Yeah, they actually lost it at home for both times, I believe. At least the last game. But you get the whole point in all this. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. And another thing I would say is, sure, there might be some questionable calls here and there, but you got to be more mentally tougher team and make plays to win. And if you have a lead, let's make it leave no doubt out there. Just like you did against Kansas. Dictate the pace of the game. Of course, defensively, you have to be good in those 1v1 situations. Don't give them any clean looks. And try to obviously correct what you did from the last game to this one. Don't gotta be good in set piece defense, but set piece defense, because that does make an impact sometimes. And obviously, you do not want to have a foul or handball in the box, because that would mean penalty kick, and that's just guessing game from there. And obviously, you can't be intimidated by the other team or try to take the crowd away from them in the game as much as possible. Opposing crowd, that is. And if your fans show. If there's some Baylor fans there, you got to kind of get them involved a little bit. And the last thing you want to have is have a red card, because then it's 11 versus 10. But honestly, if they do it, they do it. Not that I'm counting on officiating to be good or anything like that, but I'm just saying, you do not want to put yourself in that situation. And so many yellow cards anyway in conference equals suspension. We don't want that to happen, obviously. Actually, yeah, BYU did lose at Arizona on the road for one of them, but definitely the last one was at home. So you get the whole point. It would really help yourself to get ahead of the 8 ball on some of these teams, especially the ones that you get to play this year. So back to this game. And make them turn the ball over their own end and all this, and clear the ball out on your defending end as much as possible, and try to start a counter-attack. You got to win 50-50 balls in the air, like the first ball and second ball. You got to shut down the best players for Kansas State in this type of game. Now, offensively, don't turn the ball over on your own end as much as possible, or in midfield. And sometimes you could have your defense set up a counterattack and get some offense. You got to be good on your set piece offense, because sometimes that's the best way to score. Obviously, there's other ways, I know. Try to get some clean looks and win those 1v1 situations. To the point, what if there is a foul on the opposing team in the box? Not that I'm counting on officiating or anything like that, but still. And try to get some good shots up. And it doesn't really matter about the number of shots or number of corner kicks. But at the end of the day, you got to put the ball behind the net. Right to the net and all this. So I'm just saying, it would be very helpful. And if you're dealing with adversity during the game, you just got to be mentally tough and move on to the next play. And let's not play down to our competition here. No offense to Kansas State, but let's go out there and leave no doubt. And then if you really want respect from the polls nationally, let's take care of business in this game. I'm serious, because now you have 2 top 18 wins on the year. You should, as long as you take care of business in this game, you could very well be receiving votes. I don't know about ranked. Ranked might be a stretch, but still, you get the whole point. You gotta stay hungry for this type of game. And you gotta have your best players step up, and your world players as much as possible. The midfield definitely needs to step up, besides defenders and forwards. So there's no need to go more into detail about this. Let's finish the road trip strong in the state of Kansas here when you get played at Kansas State. And the fortunate news, it looks like it's going to be good weather, but if it's bad weather for some reason, you just got to stay ready, stay loose. And sure, like I said, it's getting an upset win is huge. But let's not have a letdown game. And I don't anticipate that happening. This team is better than they were last year, in the last few years in general. But it does help that you have a lot of experience and a lot of more offensive weapons than in the past. So let's go out there, give our best shot, and finish this road trip in the state of Kansas strong when you play Kansas State. Because it would be huge, given, and not to look too far ahead or anything like that, when you have home games coming up against Iowa State. That's a winnable game. You've got Colorado. That's a winnable game. And even BYU, that's a winnable game. I'm just saying, I'm not going too far ahead, and I even think the rest of the schedule in general, the way the team has been playing, is winnable. But let's focus on one game at a time, starting with this one. And look, if you really want to help your odds even more to make the NCAAs, let alone the Big 12 tournament, the Big 12 tournament's only for like the top 8 this year because they changed it from 12 to 8 from last year to this year. You got to take care of business and get 3 points on the board with a win here. The last thing you really want to do is have ties. because that could impact the Big 12 standings down the line and everything like that. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe. See you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my money, this of course, like video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. Some more people can watch. And for watching, and not subscribe, hit subscribe button, free notification bell as well.